I remember my kindergarten teacher at the West Visayas State University who told us countless fairy tales. My personal favorite is The Emperor's New Clothes by Hans Christian Andersen. We all know the story. It's about an emperor who was duped by two con men he hired to make magnificent clothes, which are invisible to the stupid. Thus, everyone pretended that clothes were being made or be branded as stupid. Finally, the fateful day arrived. The emperor paraded in his new clothes. He was applauded until a child blurted out that he was wearing nothing at all. Startled, the emperor opted to continue with the parade. I now see familiar faces. I feel again the sweet vibrations of this room. This is our home. I started my political career here in 1995 when I was first elected as board member. After 3 years, I ran and won as congressman, a position I held continuously for 9 years. I then won as vice governor. I headed this chamber for 3 years, from 2007 to 2010. In 2010, I ran for congressman and lost. For the record, I did not buy votes in these elections. I won because of my qualifications, my programs, and my performance as a public servant. In short, I won based on merit, and I respected the voters. After 15 years, I decided to try my hand again at politics. It was the correct decision as I won. I thought that I would not make it to the last lap. I was slowly sliding downwards. I finally placed second with 100,386 votes. I wish to tell you about my experience running as board member in the 5th District. I have heard about the rampant vote buying, disrespecting the voters. And this was not the norm when I left in 2010. I have been informed by persons whose words I do not doubt that there were candidates who aggressively engaged in buying votes in the district. The amounts vary depending on the positions. Social media was full of pictures of sample ballots with stapled or attached peso bills just before and immediately after May 12, 2025. I have been invited to several gatherings where I was reminded to bring envelopes loaded with money. This meant I would have no choice but to buy votes. I politely declined. I know of a husband and wife team who are both considered as the power couple in the province and who had allegedly spent huge amounts of money to buy votes. Their alleged district-wide vote buying activities, which stretch up to election day itself, can only be described as systematic and massive. It was of such an immense scale, which has never been seen before in the district in recent memory. On May 10, or 2 days before election day, Iloilo Metropolitan Times, or IMT, reported that I organized a vote-buying activity in Barotac Viejo. Quote, joint elements of the Philippine National Police, PNP, and the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, CIDG-6, responded to a reported vote-buying activity during a gathering organized by candidate Rolex Suplico in Barangay Santo Domingo, Barotac Viejo, Iloilo on Saturday, May 10, and co. Surprised at this falsity, I immediately called up Rod Texon, who I consider as a friend dating back to the mid-90s. Rod is a big name at the IMT. I told him that I have not been to Barotac Viejo since the funeral of former Mayor Mirna Tupas on May 4, or 6 days before May 10. On May 11, a day before election day, IMT issued this. Quote, IMT news reporter Ian Paul Cordero, who has been deployed to the 5th District as part of the news organization's election coverage confirmed that Suplico was not in the area. But those people managing the gathering were wearing shirts bearing Suplico's name and image and quote. Quote, we did not mention that Suplico was present in the area. He explained. Suplico called the report erroneous and wrong and demanded a public apology from IMT News because his reputation was besmirched. IMT News stands by his story, but we apologize for hurting the feelings of Suplico, who was mentioned in the report. We are sorry. Unquote. It was flimsy for Mr. Cordero to label me as the organizer based solely on the clothes of the alleged managers of the event. He could have condemned Adidas if the participants wore the brand. But what is intriguing about the incident was that it was held on May 10, when political activity was still allowed. The raid has the effect of being held at gunpoint. It also bears noting that no proof was ever presented to prove that it was a vote-buying event. Moreover, no election cases have been filed based on Section 261A o Batas Pambansa Bilang 881, which declared vote buying and vote selling as prohibited acts. What we have are only the two news items of IMT. It was, my friends, simply a smear drive against my person. Vote buying is therefore the elephant in the room. It is ever present in our elections. We tend to deny its very existence. It saddens me that some consider it already as a normal feature of our elections. It is so much like the story of the emperor's new clothes. We applaud, we clap, we stand up, and we act as if nothing happened. Yet we know that the con men who are engaged in vote buying have conned us once again. Vote buying is immoral. It undermines and bastardizes our democracy. It selects low-quality politicians as it drastically affects how we choose our candidates. The candidate with tons of cash is not necessarily the best candidate. It also reduces public accountability once these politicians are elected into office. American political activist John Lewis hit the nail right in the head when he said, "The vote is precious. It is almost sacred. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have in a democracy." And now, how will those who won through vote buying recover the money they used to buy votes? Kung dako gastos mo, di mo na bawiun man. The answer, my friends, is in the vicious cycle of corruption. The money spent for vote buying will be recovered from government projects. And who pays for these projects? It is us, the people. We pay with our taxes. If you will spend a lot of money to buy votes and you will win, you will then recover this from government projects. Spend big time. Buy votes big time. Win big time. And recover big time. And we will have substandard projects big time. Big time crooks. And some of them even like to quote the Bible. Mayor Vico Soto of Pasig said that, tandaan, ang gagastos ng malaki sa kampanya ay malaki rin ang babawiin. He also said that money politics, kung saan gumagastos ng sobrang laki ang mga politiko para manalo, alam na natin kung saan at ano ang kasunod noon. Ang pinaka-obvious na maidudulot nito ay corruption. Can this illegal practice be stopped? Is there hope for candidates who will not buy votes? Is there hope for the 5th District in particular, or for this country in general? Is there hope for all of us? The answer to these questions are, yes, this pernicious practice can be stopped. Yes, candidates who will buy votes, candidates who will not buy votes can still win. Yes, there is hope for the district and for this country. I did not buy votes and yet I won. And I have talked with candidates in the district who have also won without buying votes. My friends, we need to stop vote buying. It is the obligation of all Filipinos, and it's one of us who composed the 15th Sangguniang Panlalawigan to put an end to this evil habit. Let us not be tricked once again. We must educate the voters on the perils of vote buying. And voter education is the only road to success in this regard. Nigerian novelist Chinua Achebe aptly said, "A functioning, robust democracy requires a healthy, educated, participatory followership and an educated, morally grounded leadership." Let me remind everyone that emperors and kings are long gone. Their power is now with the people who elect public officials. Yet the con men, like the ones in the emperor's new clothes, are still with us, duping us to sell our votes. We cannot continue the parade and be unconcerned. We have to raise the alarm and warn the people, as I did today. Fellow public servants, we cannot allow vote buying to continue unhindered. We can start with ourselves and commit that I will not buy votes nor sell my vote in the next elections. I therefore condemn vote buying in the 5th District in the strongest possible terms. I will now ask this 15th Sangguniang Panlalawigan to pass a resolution condemning the same in due time. I will now recite the serenity prayer for all of us to contemplate. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and wisdom to know the difference. I wish to thank the 15th Sangguniang Panlalawigan for the golden opportunity to speak. In closing, I wish to thank God for the gift of 100,386 unpaid votes. And I am back where I started my politics. My friends, it is certainly good to be home.